Hi, this is Michael Tallis with the Tallis Real Estate Team. Every day, I'm helping people to buy and sell their homes right here in the Bay Area. And in these volatile times, the first question I always get is, how is the market? But lately, that question has become more nuanced. My clients, and even my colleagues, are asking something more specific. What is happening with the condo market? Why does it feel so different from the market for single-family homes? They are right to ask. We're seeing a great divergence emerge in the Bay Area real estate. While well-priced single-family homes are still receiving multiple offers and selling quickly, the market for condominiums and townhomes is telling a very different story. We're seeing condo open houses with fewer visitors, longer days on the market, and a distinct softening of prices that stand in stark contrast to the rest of the market. So why is it happening? This isn't just about interest rates or general economic jitters. This is a structural problem, a perfect storm of state legislation and lender anxiety that has targeted the condo market with surgical precision. Today, we're going to dissect this situation. I'm going to explain exactly why condo prices are starting to fall. And most importantly, I'll lay out what you, as a savvy buyer or a concerned seller, need to do to navigate this new reality. To understand why condo values are under pressure, we have to go back to the fundamental duty of a homeowner association, or HOA. Under California Davis-Sterling Act, an HOA is legally responsible for maintaining, repairing, and replacing the common area, the roof, the structure, the shared amenities. For decades, a dangerous ambiguity existed around what's called exclusive use common areas, which include most of balconies and patios. The law stated that while the homeowner was responsible for routine maintenance, like sweeping and cleaning, the HOA was responsible for the deep structural repairs and replacement. This created a gap where no one was looking for hidden problems. The decks and balconies looked clean on the outside while deteriorating on the inside, getting structurally weaker. Volunteer HOA boards often focused on keeping dues low and deferred inspections on these hidden systems. This allowed water intrusions and wood decay or dry rot to fester for years unseen. That all changed with Senate Bill 326, known as a balcony bill. Enacted after a tragic balcony collapse in Berkeley that killed 6 students, this law forced a day of reckoning. It mandates that all condo associations with 3 or more units have their balconies, decks, and other elevated wooden structures professionally inspected by a licensed architect or structural engineer. The deadline for this first inspection was January 1st of 2025. That date has now passed. Any association that has not complied is now operating in breach of state law, exposing itself and all of its members to immense liability. The financial fallout from these inspections is staggering. The inspection report itself can cost an HOA anywhere from $5,000 to over $20,000. But that's just the beginning. If the inspection uncovers significant dry rot, the cost to rebuild a single balcony can exceed $20,000. For an entire complex, this can easily become a multi-million-dollar repair project. And when the HOA's reserves funds are insufficient, which they often are, that cost is passed directly to the homeowners through a massive special assessment. A surprise bill of tens of thousands of dollars is a major problem. But that's only the first shock wave. The second, and the one that is directly impacting property values, come from the financial gatekeepers, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These are not banks. They are giant government-sponsored corporations that buy nearly half of all mortgages in the United States, which is what allows lenders to keep lending. Because they buy the loans, they set the rules. If a condo project doesn't meet their strict eligibility criteria, they will not back a mortgage for any unit in that development. In the wake of the catastrophic Chaplin Towers collapse in Florida, Fannie and Freddie became intensely focused on risks. They now aggressively scrutinize condo associations for any sign of physical or financial instability. The biggest red flags that will land a building on their ineligible lists are the following. First of all, significant deferred maintenance. This is precisely what SB 326 reports are uncovering. A failed inspection is a direct ticket to ineligibility. Then, large special assessments. Lenders see this as a sign of poor financial planning or a major building failure. Then, inadequate reserves. Lenders use a simple benchmark. They demand to see that HOA is allocating at least 10% of its annual income to its reserve funds. Many older associations, trying to keep dues low, fall short on this mark. When a lender's underwriter sees these issues, they report the building as ineligible. This places the entire complex on an internal mortgage blacklist. This isn't a small issue. As of early 2025, there were over 700 condo complexes in California on this list, including 168 right here in the 5 counties in the Bay Area. So let's connect the dots. This brings us to the core of the issue and the answer to the question, why are condo prices stalling? The chain of events is direct and unforgiving. A history of deferred maintenance, now exposed by the legal mandate of SB 326, reveals massive unfunded repair liabilities. This discovery immediately triggers the lending restrictions from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, placing the entire association on the mortgage blacklist. The moment a building is blacklisted, the market for its units collapses. The vast majority of buyers who rely on conventional financing are shut out. The only potential buyers left are all cash investors or those who can secure rare and expensive portfolio loans. This drastically shrinks the buyer pool. When you have the same number of sellers competing for a tiny fraction of the buyers, the basic law of supply and demand takes over. To attract one of the few cash buyers available, sellers are forced to lower their prices, and often significantly. This isn't a choice, it's a necessity. The risk of multi-thousand-dollar special assessment and the inability for future buyers to get financing gets priced directly into the property. This is the reason for the Great Divide. The stalling and falling of condo prices is not a reflection of the broader market health. It is the direct mathematical consequence of this two-pronged crisis of structural liability and financial exclusion. Think of it this way. If you have 2 homes for sale, and one comes with a clean bill of health, while the other has a note saying that it might need $50,000 repair, and by the way, no bank will give you a loan to buy it, which one is going to be worth less? That is precisely what is happening in the Bay Area condo market. I know this sounds grim, but my purpose is to prepare you, not to scare you. Knowledge is power, and with a clear strategy, you can successfully navigate this market. First, for my buyers, this is a time of opportunity, but only for the diligent. You are not just buying a unit. You are acquiring a stake in a small corporation, and you must perform an audit. You must demand and scrutinize, first of all, the SB 326 inspection report. Is it complete? What were the findings? Is there a funded plan for repairs? Second, the HOA budget. Find the reserve contributions. Is it at least 10% of the operating income? Third, the reserve study. Does the HOA has a recent professional plan for its long-term repairs? And number 4, the board meeting minutes. Read at least 12 months of minutes. This is where you'll find the unvarnished truth about the building's problems. And for my sellers, you cannot hide from the reality. First, be proactive. Get involved with your HOA. If your board is delaying inspections, you need to understand that their inaction is directly eroding your home's value. Number 2, embrace transparency. Gather all these documents before you list. A good buyer's agent will uncover any issues. Being upfront builds trust and attracts serious, informed buyers. And finally, number 3, price for reality. If your building has a known issue or a pending assessment, that liability must be reflected in your list price. Overpricing your home in this environment will only lead to it sitting on the market. The market for condominiums has fundamentally and permanently changed. A property's value is now inexplicably linked to physical and financial health of its association. This is Michael Tallis with the Tallis team. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home within a year, or even 2, let's get together on the phone or on Zoom. We can review your specific situation and what you need to do to enter this market and complete a successful purchase or sale. My contact information is in the description of this video. Keep in mind that I'm available in the evenings and on weekends at the times when you are off work. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Till next time.